What is up, Square Nation? Welcome back to No Counters, No Combos, and today we're back in the Battle Chamber. Shout out to Level 1 Games for hosting the most consistent Dragon Ball Super Local in Northern New Jersey. We have Andrew on the right playing the movie promo Broly leader. I believe it's a red-green build. And then we have Ralph on the left playing mono blue skill or blue-black skillless. So Andrew's going to start off by charging a red, tapping an energy, playing the Kaba, and passing to Ralph. Let's see what Ralph decides to charge. He charges a 4-star ball, giving him 1 black energy. He's going to tap that energy to play the Kid Coup, activate skill to search for a 4-star ball, and then reveal, draw, all that jazz. Now, this Broly leader is very interesting. It definitely got a boost from the arrivals from the expansion set. Being able to play red-green color combinations with the Gogetas is pretty good. But it's a kind of like a hybrid leader. It does hand control as well as board control. Andrew has a very solid build. I think David, shout out to David. He actually built this deck, and I think Andrew was just piloting it. But it's very interesting to see how successful something can be that is under the radar if you put the right engine behind it. So Ralph's going to swing for 15, and Andrew's going to take the life, and Ralph's going to pass. Andrew's going to charge a green. So he has 1 red, 1 green energy. He has a Kaba on board. He's going to tap the red to play Bulma. Bulma's a really good card. She can turn herself to rest mode, choose a battle card, give it plus 5k, and draw a card. So it's good for filtering. Also, Broly's skill when he's awakened. He can destroy one of your battle cards to make your opponent discard a card. So it's very, very nifty. Also, when Broly attacks, he can crit himself a life, mill up to 3 cards from the top of the deck, and make your opponent discard. That's on the unawakened side. Then he awakens at 4 life, draw 2. And on the awakened side, we already talked about the board destruction, but he can also pitch a card from his hand to make your opponent blow up the board as well. So Andrew is going to play the Black Mass Saiyan, swing with Kaba, take a life. He goes up to 20k double strike here. At this point, I think it's okay to take this damage and go down to 6, because if Ralph can combo a vanilla into the drop, he'll be able to awaken. So he does take that and goes down to 6. Andrew looks like he's hesitating on attacking with Black Mass Saiyan. So let's see what he decides to do. He's going to attack with leader. To leader, activate skill, crit himself a life. That's the arrival Gogeta we were talking about. Mill the top 3, and then his opponent has to discard a card. So it is pretty good. There's that vanilla we were talking about. Now Ralph will be able to awaken next turn if he chooses to do so. And Broly swinging 10k to 10k. Let's see if Ralph decides to combo out of this attack. Okay, so he combos with a 5k combo Kid Coup. Sorry, I got my words got a little tied there. Now Andrew does decide to swing with the Black Mass Saiyan, which is, one of those aggro 1-drops. You swing, take a life, gains plus 10k. So he's sitting at 15 right now to leader. Andrew is in awakening range. He's at 4 life. And being a draw 2 leader, it doesn't necessarily hurt you awakening on your opponent's turn, because you're not really getting any energy advantage when you awaken. Since there's no untap or anything like that. So I think Ralph is debating whether he's going to take this damage or not. He's still sitting at 6 life, which is a good total for Kid Coup. You definitely want to defend your higher life totals, because there's stuff that you could do with your life as you go forward, especially if you're playing the blue build with Gogeta. But he does elect to take that life there, go down to 5. Andrew does awaken to draw 2 cards. And now that he has his leader awakened, and I do apologize for the glare, I know it's terrible, but we'll be able to walk you through as best as we can here. Now that Broly is awakened, he can easily activate both skills. He'll pitch 1 card to destroy a battle card and play Surprise Attack Frieza for free. And then he can also KO one of his non-black, non-token battle cards to make his opponent discard a card. So Frieza is rarely good in this deck because you can control with your leader the type of effect that you're getting. Leaders that do multiple things are very, very good in the game, in my opinion. Not just drawing, not just untapping, but having static effects and other things that they can do to pay energy and control the game is very, very good. There are a few leaders in the game that do that. have that inherent removal, Cell just being one of them, Broly, one of the King Piccolo leaders. So there's a couple things that we could do that way with that type of skill set. Andrew is attacking with his surprise attack Frieza, which is sitting at a 15k crit right now, and he's deciding whether or not he's going to combo up into this attack. He super combos to draw 1, goes up to 25k critical. I mean, I think at that point, Ralph is going to awaken here. Interesting, to untap 1 and draw a card, so he's sitting at 15. He would have to combo up to 30 because Frieza's sitting at 25. But since he's awakened now, if he wants to, he can elect to use his skill-less battle cards for 10k combos. Very interesting to see Ralph awakening so early on his opponent's turn. Frieza wasn't double strike or anything like that, so I don't think it's bad to take that damage there. But that's essentially what he does is he combos the vanilla and then he combos the ball, getting him up to 30 and surviving the critical attack. It's a very interesting sequence there. Andrew does pass to Ralph, so it's turn 2. Let's see what Ralph decides to charge here. He's got 1 black active. He's going to charge the Gogeta 7 to give him a blue, so he's sitting 1 blue, 1 black. Activate 4-star ball, draw 2, discard 1. Let's see what his pitch target is. He does appear to have a pretty decent sized hand. He's got a skill-less battle card. He's got a negate. He's got a sense being and another 4-star ball in there. Really can't make out what the other half of the hand is, but it looks like he's got a pretty good hand. So he does choose to discard the 4-star ball here. And let's see what he decides to do as far as committing to the board. Now you got to remember, Broly's effects are only once per turn, so if you're going to only be putting 1 target out at a time, it's going to be a very easy game for Broly to control your board. So you kind of have to try to go as wide as possible. Training Buddy Krillin in this situation would be very, very good, because not only will he be able to bring out 2 battle cards, but he'll also be able to kill one of the small little guys on the board there that Andrew has. But I don't think he has it in his hand right now. So Ralph decides to swing leader into Kaba, which is an obvious choice. You don't want to continue all that double strike pressure on the board. Even though Andrew does have to take a life to activate that skill, it still might be a little uncomfortable to deal with it. And Ralph just elects to pass, leaving his energy open. So not committing to the board, Broly won't be able to activate his removal skill. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Ralph passes to Andrew. He draws for turn, untaps, and here we go, charging his 3rd energy. Let's see what color he decides to throw down there. I think this deck can operate with just 1 of each. I don't think you have to color specify your charges past turn 2. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, you definitely need at least 1 red and at least 1 green to do everything. But then after that, you can kind of just pick and choose what you're going to charge. I don't think there's any... he might be playing for Seeing Hit in the build, so you definitely going to need 2 specified reds, but we'll see what happens. So he does charge her Intensifying Power to give him another red energy. He's going to activate Bulma to give Frieza plus 5k in draw. So Frieza's sitting at 20k crit. He's going to swing with his leader, Broly, draw a card. Ralph is going to tap 1 for the Power Burst, add the Kid Coup back to his hand. Broly's going to activate his auto that when he attacks, he gets to pop a card on the board to make his opponent discard. And then Ralph is going to discard the 4-star ball, which is not a bad choice since you know he has the Kid Coup in the hand. He will be able to get the Dragon Balls back from the drop area. So it's not a bad scenario for him at this point. He is still sitting at 5 life and Andrew's sitting at 4. So we're pretty even right now. As far as hand advantage is concerned, I think both players have the same amount of cards in hand. Andrew might have a few more than Ralph, but I'm not exactly sure. It looks like he has about 7 cards in his hand, and I think Ralph might have like 5 or 6. So we'll see what happens here. Andrew is going to attack with Surprise Attack Frieza, and Ralph is going to Power Burst yet again, getting another 1-drop Kid Coup from his drop area, mitigating that critical damage, so that's great. But Andrew still does have 3 energy open and a Black Mass Saiyan on the board, so let's see what he decides to do here. He definitely, you could see a little bit in his hand. He's got an Intensifying Power Trunks. I really couldn't make out what else he had. He's not really angling it so we could see here, which is fine. Element of Surprise is somewhat better for entertainment purposes. He is going to activate Overwhelm here, so pay 1, Overwhelm 7 for Scientist Food, draw 2, which is huge. 25k double strike early in the game is kind of big. Ralph is tapped out. He's already used 2 Power Bursts. I believe he does have Sparking active, so he would have access to a Sparking Negate if needed. But Fu is going to go into leader here for 25k double strike. It doesn't look like Ralph has any counters. Let's see if Andrew decides to combo up on this swing. He chooses not to. So Ralph is going to super combo with Trunks to draw, and he just needs 5k combo power or more to get out of this. So we're going to rifle through the drop area here to see kind of what we've got going on. Just needs 5k more. I think he's debating whether or not he wants to combo with one of those Kid Coups. So he elects to combo with the vanilla, with the skillless battle card, going up to 35. So he did over combo there. But by putting that skillless battle card in the drop area, there's a possibility of him having a target now for training Buddy Krillin, which would still be good. But I'm not exactly sure where he's going with this. But then again, it's not me playing, so I really can't assume the lines of play for the players. So Andrew is going to pass turn. He passes with an active Black Mass Saiyan. Pass to Ralph. Ralph has to charge energy here. He doesn't seem to have too many cards in hand, maybe about 5. So charging when you have low cards does become a little bit of a hindrance. But as long as he's got a 4-star ball or a means of getting 4-star ball to his hand, he'll be able to kind of refill his hand size, organically with the leader's effect. So let's see what he decides to charge here. You definitely want to get a second blue energy down because obviously you see that he's playing blue with Gogeta and you need a restricted 2 blue energy to play him. So let's see if he decides to snap down a blue. He charges a skillless. Okay. So he's sitting at 3 energy, 2 blue, 1 black. He activates 4-star ball to draw 2. Now he has to discard. So he's going to discard a 4-star ball. We know he has 2 1-drop Kid Coups in his hand. So he will be able to search back a 4-star ball. And I think that's what he's electing to do right here. He's going to play the Kid Coup, activate the skill to go into deck to search for a ball. Let's see if he has a target that's valid. Otherwise, he can always just go to his drop area and add the 4-star. Doesn't look like he has a target in deck. So he probably has one. He has one in charge. I think he has 2 or 3 in the drop area. So those are usually all the balls right there. Like 5 or 6 copies if that. So he grabs the ball from the drop, presents the cut, and let's see. So he has a couple of things you could do here. There really is no hurry to rush Broly down. That leader specifically doesn't really build too big of a hand, with just generating advantage. And it's going to be removing its own board to trigger the discard effects. So clearing the board here, if Ralph can get rid of this Frieza, I think that's the best choice. So he's going to attack into Frieza. Let's see if Andrew decides to counter. Let's see. He sends Subins to untap, tap a blue and then untap 2. So he's back up to 3 energy, which is very good because it'll give him some extension here. So he's swinging to 20k to 15k. Andrew's going to combo up to 20. He's going to need 5 more. Do I smell it? I smell it. There's the Gogeta. Bang. And there goes the Kid Coup. That's the power of the arrival. He just has to combo with 1 red and 1 green card and then tap a red energy and bring out a 20k double striker that kills a battle card that's 4 or less. So that's huge. Not only does he save his Frieza, but he also gets another battle card on board to create pressure on his opponent. And that's pretty crazy. You have to look out for stuff like that, especially when you're seeing specific color combinations, just to be aware. But it's okay because Ralph essentially got a reset turn with the Senzu Bean. So he's just going to continue his moves here, tapping the 1 ball to play the Kid Coup. He can activate the effect again to search another ball from his drop area. So he'll be able to continue his plays that way. And he still does have the 2 energy open if he elects to bring out a 30k vanilla from his deck. So it's going to be interesting to see what line of play Ralph takes to kind of push more onto his opponent's board. But that Gogeta right now is going to cause some serious issues, especially because it's a 20k double striker. And it's big. That card is pretty big. Getting rid of a Kid Coup like that, and forcing you to have to play another one is kind of inefficient because you're using more energy than you should have. But we'll see what happens. Ralph does decide to activate Goku's skill to bring out a vanilla from his deck, so he's got that 30k Deborah just chilling there. I still think the right choice is to go at the board. So he's going to swing with Deborah into Frieza, activate Oh, Aandroidd negates with the body counter. That's interesting. I guess it makes sense because it's a free 5k combo that's red. So you can trigger your arrival, but you can also use it as fodder for your Broly skills. Very, very interesting tech choice. So he does negate the Deboro swing into the Frieza, essentially saving it. And now Ralph is going to attack with the 1-drop into the Frieza. Let's see. Power Burst. Oh, no sparking. Sorry, bud. Can't activate it. He only has 2 cards in the drop area. So at least we know now he has a sparking negate in his hand, so Ralph can play around that. He decides to combo up here, super combo into the Kid Coup, going up to 15k, drawing a card, and then a ball going up to 20. Frieza dies, goes to the drop. That looks like it's pretty much it for Ralph. He's only got like 4 cards in his hand. Not too much, especially for Kid Coup. Kid Cou's usually generating like 10, 12 card hands at certain points, but he is playing against a semi-hand destruction deck, so it's going to be interesting to see the recovery here. Ralph does pass turn to Andrew, draw, untap. Let's see what he decides to charge. He decides to charge a surprise attack Frieza. So depending on how many he plays in the build, I think it's safe to say 2 is like a popular number for surprise attacks. So it might be over, but then again, knowing that he charged one just kind of gives you an inkling that he might possibly have another one in his hand. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. He decides to elect to use the leaders. Yeah, and there's a third one. So he uses the leader skill to pop, to discard a card and pop the Kid Coup, and then he brings out the Frieza, which is kind of huge. And now he has 4 energy open, so he can do a lot of things this turn. He has Frieza, which is a 15k critical, Gogeta, which is a 20k double striker. He's got 10k combo worth of... He's got 10k combo on board with 2 5ks. And he still has his leader swing, which is attack, pop a card, and make the opponent discard. So he's swinging at leader 15 to 15. He's going to pop the Videl, which is smart, and forcing Ralph to discard a card here. Let's see what Ralph decides to put in the drop. A Sensor Bean. Okay. Might not be as important as some of the battle cards or the 4-star balls he has in his hand, so it's definitely a decent choice. And I think Andrew decides not to combo up on this attack. So it's sitting at 15k power to 15k power. And Ralph decides to combo out with a 4-star ball going up to 20. So it looks like Ralph only's got 2 cards in his hand. Andrew's tapping 4 for seeing hit. That's huge, especially since Ralph only has 2 cards in his hand. He's probably going to lose both of them, depending on what he's got. Oh, but we see the Power Burst there, so he's kind of safe. But he does lose the Furthering Destruction Champa, keeps the Power Burst. So Ralph is still alive here, sitting at 5 life. That Power Burst is going to come in clutch, because he'll be able to negate a double strike attack. Andrew decides to swing with the Black Mass Saiyan into the Kid Coup. Excuse me. Takes a life, goes down to 3. Gives it a 10k boost, sitting at 15. Combos up to 20. Combos up to 25. So Black Mass Saiyan is sitting at 25 to Goku's 15. You just kind of have to take that damage. You don't have any combo power. You didn't negate the attack. But that's okay, because you still have your Power Burst there for your for a double striker. So it's quite all right there. He can survive. I think you still take this Frieza damage here, unless Andrew decides to not combo up, and Ralph can somehow combo out of this attack. But if for some reason he can't combo out, I would just take it, because you're gonna negate one of the double strikers. So he does combo out, which is fantastic, because now it doesn't put him in an awkward situation where he'd be at 3 life, Power Burst go down to 2, and there's still a double striker on the board. So Andrew kind of maybe should have comboed up, knowing his opponent's hand was very small, knowing that there was a Power Burst. It might have been a miscalculation there. But at this point, I'm okay with just passing. My opponent only has 1 card in his hand. I have my board set up. There's not much he's going to be able to do next turn. I'm not going to kill him. He's got a free Power Burst. Why give him 2 extra cards? And it's exactly what he elects to do, which I think is the right play. Ralph draws for turn, untaps. I don't think you can charge here. I don't think you can afford to charge with only 2 cards in hand. But he still has that 30k vanilla on the board there. So it's going to be interesting to see how he decides to do this. You kind of have to do a little bit of math. I don't think Ralph can win this turn. So you have to figure out if it's more worth it to you to go after your opponent's board by killing the Frieza. Ooh, that's interesting. Awakening Talent Pan could do a lot of work in this situation right here because it gives him another body to swing at, and Andrew is only at 3 life, so he could potentially win this turn depending on what Andrew has in his hand. So he's going to go leader swing into Frieza. Interesting. So he's going to elect to go after the board. Okay, so Frieza swing. So Goku swing into Frieza, 15k to 15k. Doesn't look like Andrew countered. He also only has 2 cards in his hand. One of them looks like a Power Burst, and the other looks like a Supreme Kai double strike. That's what it looked like to me anyway. In that angle there. So interesting sequence of events here. Frieza dies. Ralph still has the attack power with Pan, so he's going to swing at the Black Mass Saiyan, activate the effect to take a life. Any counters, he says no. Auto, take a life, go up to 15, put a card in my hand, sitting at 3 life. Interesting. Counter window should happen before auto resolve, so that's just a little weird there. But all in all, Andrew decides to take the Power Burst and negate the attack and take a life, go down to 2. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why you would put yourself down to 2. He's not tapped out. Interesting. Very interesting sequence of plays. Ralph gets his Champa back. Passes to Andrew. Untap. Draw. Let's see if he decides to charge. I think this game could be over. I mean, depending on what's in Ralph's hand, I don't know if he can survive 2 double strikers with 3 life. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Ralph only has 3 cards in hand. We know that he has a Champa, a Pan, and a Power Burst. Those are the 3 cards that we know that he has in hand. So let's see what happens here. Andrew's going to swing with leader to leader. So probably trying to force him down to 2 so he can threaten lethal with these 2 battle cards. Since they are both double strikers, it makes perfect sense. Even if Ralph decides to negate, at least you're burning the Power Burst on a leader swing, which wouldn't make any sense at this point since you're not tapped out. You don't have to sparking negate, so you can still use the energy cost to pay for it. But I would want to save that for a double striker because I don't necessarily die if I combo out of this leader skill here, or this leader swing rather. So let's see if Andrew's going to combo up on this attack here. He's activating leader skill? What? Okay, so he chooses to activate his leader skill to destroy his hit so that his opponent can discard a card. Then he's going to tap an energy to combo, not to combo. So he's sitting at 15, single strike to leader. Ralph's just going to super combo out, go up to 25 and draw. Very, very questionable play on Andrew's behalf. I don't understand the necessity there of getting rid of that hit. I think you could have easily won that turn if you sequenced properly. That's why I always talk about Dragon Ball. It's such a sequence-heavy game. If you do things out of order or you make one simple misplay, you could potentially lose the game. But let's see if he decides to recover here, or if he can recover from that misplay. Okay, not too bad. He does ditch the double strike Kai to pop the Deborah and free play the surprise attack Frieza. So that's his 4th copy of Frieza. So he plays 4 copies in this deck. He's going to swing here. Frieza is 25 double strike. Ralph is going to combo his Champa to go up to 25. And then, wow, he combos out. That is crazy. And the last card in hand, of course, we know, is a Power Burst. That is insane. Oh, wow. Overall mirror. Andrew's just putting on the pressure. He's forcing his opponent to have answers here. And so far, Ralph has had all the answers. But he's going to Power Burst to negate the attack of the Mira. And then he's going to activate to get the Kid Coup back to his hand. I believe that's his only target. So he does another 5k combo in his hand. The only attack Andrew has left is with his Gogeta, which is a double strike. And at this point, why would you give your opponent 2 extra cards? Knowing that he only has 1 Kid Coup in his hand. But at the same time, that Kid Coup is huge because he can play it for 1, get a 4-star ball, draw 2 more. He could just filter. So I think getting rid of that hit might have cost Andrew the game here. I just don't see it. He is sitting at 2 life, so I guess you just play the odds here. He passes to Ralph. Let's see what happens. No cards in hand, so let's see what happens. He draws off the top, no charge. What did he draw? I didn't see what he drew. Oh, is that a Champa? If that's a Champa, this is game. If that's a Champa, this game is over. Let's see. So he plays the Kid Coup, activates skill, get the ball from the drop. If he plays a Champa, this game is over, and he's super nice. 4-star ball, draw 2, pitch 1. Let's go. Come on. Let's see. Do you get a Champa? He pitches the Kami, which is useless. He's got he does. He's got a Champa and a Deborah in hand. This game is over. There's nothing that Andrew can do. He has no cards in hand. He's got 3 energy open, but he's not going to be able to combo out because Gogeta's only a 10k combo. What? Oh, I was going to say, why would you tap 2? You have game here. You just pressure. Just swing. Just do it. Turn your leader sideways and win the game. Swing at leader. No counters from Andrew. Come on, do it. Do it. Throw the Champa. Show him the Champa for game. Show him the Champa. Okay, so another 10k. So he's sitting at 25. 25. Champa. 35. 40. 45 with the Kid Coup. That is game, ladies and gentlemen. What seems to be a minor misplay is what can cost you a game against your opponent. That's why sequencing is key in this game, and knowing what to do in what situation is very important. Shout out to both of these players. They played an awesome game. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Be there or be squared.